Oh, yes, I love a like. Happy Friday, y'all. I don't know about y'all, but for me, it was a long week. I'm also a bit under the weather. Um, I slept for a lot of the day because I really don't feel well. But since I did sleep for most of the day, I feel I. Hold on, what's going on? There we go. You know, lots of fluids in me. You feel me? They said fluids, but they didn't say what kind of fluids. Excuse me. You already know. Shout out to all the shout out to all the crazy single moms on the internet. Lord knows we wouldn't be here without you. Let me say what's up to y'all. Yo, what's happening? What's happening? What's up? What's up? Run that broccoli, then hit the like button. Exactly. Run that broccoli, then hit the like button. You know what I'm saying? You're allowed to give a donation. You're allowed to hit the like. You're allowed to share. You're allowed to comment. You're allowed to subscribe. And my lives will get a lot more consistent because honestly, I disrespected the average YouTube user. I didn't know y'all be going to people's channels to watch their lives like that when you mess with them. I thought, you only watch the videos and the shorts, but I'm looking at other people's channels because I do research on people because it's my job now. And if y'all rock with somebody, y'all watch their lives. Like y'all go back and watch them. It'd be a lot of, and I think it's kind of silly to go live if nobody wants to watch it. But you know, if y'all like to listen to me yap about things, then I'm with it. Cause I like to think I'm the realest on the internet. You know, if y'all were gonna listen to anybody yap about trending topics, about dating, about relationships, about men and women dynamics, it should be the real one. It should be the dude who gets on the internet and actually lives his raps. Like y'all be, pardon me, I'm not specifically speaking to the women, well, actually the women too, because y'all still get on the internet and listen to Derek Jackson. Didn't he get caught red-handed cheating on his wife, his queen? But all he do is give y'all advice on how you should be treated by a man. Give me a damn break. You know what I'm saying? Your boy Andrew be talking his traditional Christian values, always talking down to women. He got a wife with 3 baby daddies. What are we talking about? All your traditional values, like these people online, all they do is sound good. They don't live their raps. It's disgusting. And what's even more disgusting is that y'all know these people don't live their raps, and you watch them anyway. Like how can you listen to somebody who don't live their raps? And we ain't even talking about actual rappers here who are depicting dangerous lifestyles that I would hope they wouldn't live. We're talking about people who are telling you how you should live your life. Every day they hop on the internet talking shit to people and telling you how you should live your life. And they don't even live how they say you should live. There's no way. There's no way. There's no way. If you need someone to listen to that bad, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and you watch my shit. If you want me to talk about certain things, you tell me what you want me to talk about, and I'll talk about it. Because I got to save y'all from these people. Because everyone's in need of coaching. You know, that's why they have athletes and coaches. And I always say hearing things from other sources makes so much sense when you hear them out loud sometimes. We're not perfect. We need to listen to people to formulate opinions about things sometimes because there are people who are smarter than us. If you need to listen to somebody online, you might as well stop and do it here. You heard me? You heard me? There's no way y'all listen to these red pillars who don't live by what they say. Then y'all wonder why women don't respect men in America. Are you serious? They see you. That's why they don't respect you. They see you, literally. They listen to you. That's why they don't respect you. When I'm talking to a liberal woman who actually has a sound mind, because all liberals aren't crazy, obviously, just like all conservatives aren't great, obviously. I'm gonna put you in timeout, son. You see, this is why men don't respect. Excuse me. This is why women don't respect men, because only weird men get in men's comment sections to spam comments. That's some weird man shit. That's not woman stuff. That's weird man shit. And you wonder why Western women don't respect y'all. The key word is y'all. Because I don't have the problems that y'all have online. I have regular man problems when it comes to women. I don't have the issues. You see, the reason why the red pill attracts so many of y'all is because y'all, I say it all the time. I should really put this in a book. The red pill only exists because modern men feel like we live in a society of hoes and you still can't get no coochie. That's why the red pill exists. And the red pill was made up by a bunch of men who didn't get no coochie before they got some money and clout. So they have no discernment when it comes to women. They had no idea how to talk to women before they got the money and clout. And since they didn't talk to women beforehand, and you men done hyped them up to where they think their word is the gospel, they think the women that they deal with are how women act. It's not our fault that your red pill leaders attract shitty women. They're shitty people. It makes sense. Your boys Myron and Walter preached how you should stay away from promiscuous women. Whole time they be going in SWs raw, prostitutes raw, people who they pay for intimacy raw. How both of y'all have pregnancy scares with sex workers? Your boy Cooley said single moms are recreational use only. He's 6'4", high value. He's black. He makes over 100 grand a year. He's in the top percentages of men. Caucasian single mom of two. None of these red pill people who you all look up to, are in healthy, satisfying relationships, nor does it seem like they want one. And I cannot stress this enough. None of them clowns got women before they got money. Now, you can convince yourself as a man that you want to be alone, you're comfortable being alone because you can't find a good woman. So since you think all women are trash because you listen to red pill content, it seems more peaceful just to be alone because you lack the tools necessary to go out and find you a good woman. It's not all women. It's you, son. I swear I don't feel good. Well, I feel better than I did earlier. Like I can breathe out of my nose right now. That 3 hour nap really helped. I'm not gonna lie. We got off topic. We're here to talk about these quarter zips and how apparently they're anti-black. You see, I've seen all types of trends over the years on TikTok, on Instagram, Vine, Snapchat, all types of trends. But more specifically TikTok, because that's the most modern thing. Y'all remember the Don Julio trend where y'all were spinning around with Don Julio bottles on your head? That wasn't anti-black. Drill music, which is primarily blacks unaliving blacks and celebrating it on tracks. That's not anti-black. Um, Sexy Red's not anti-black. Um, the fact that we know as black people, our firearms and weapons are mostly for black people. They're not for other races trying to attack us. That's not anti-black. Um, Celebrating people when they come home for prison better than people who graduate college. That's not anti-black. Um, the fact that every single society has drug abuse, alcoholism, prostitution, hypersexuality, children born out of wedlock, single motherhood. Every single society has these things, but the negative aspects of everybody's society is Black American culture. And the people who perpetuate that, they're not anti-black. No, no, no. This trend is anti-black. The business casual trend is anti-black. I'm not gonna lie, when I first heard they was doing quarter zips, I thought they was talking about gas. I thought they was talking about Doja, not the cat. I thought they was talking about that Zaza. My boy said, I only do quarter zips now. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. You done got your money up. You don't do tray fives and dubs no more. You do straight quarter zips. That shows how ghetto I am. But no, 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 no. This is anti-black. Not looking like a street urchin is anti-black. These hard R's who run black culture in America, it is going to be my job until I retire to roast y'all because we all know the hard R activity that is all over black entertainment, it's not going anywhere. Oh, Now You a Single Mom is apparently very anti-black. I don't know if you heard, but we got blackballed. Because, I'm the only black man in the history of America since the internet age to get 1 million views on a song in 3 weeks and not have one concert booking. Because apparently, the most anti black thing you could ever do is insinuate accountability for black people. That is by far the most anti black thing around. Accountability. We we know people don't like accountability, but you blacks, you blacks, accountability might as well be a curse word. You let him hit it raw is the most offensive sentence to ever hit the black community. Because think about how offended black people had to be to see that a song had 1 million views in 3 weeks after it dropped, and the only promotion was the dude's social media page, saw that this dude was carrying TikTok for 3 months straight with one joke. Think about how offensive it had to be to where black people as a whole were like, we don't want to get that money. We don't want to get the money that we do with every other viral thing on the internet. Think about how offended black people had to be in an era of Sexy Red and NBA Youngboy to ignore my motion, to ignore the money, just to make a black ass point that I'm offensive because of the accountability. Can't make this shit up. By the way, the song's at 1.4, excuse me, the song's at 4.1 million views on YouTube, and we had 2.2 million streams on Spotify. I don't know how to check on Apple Music, but that's pretty awesome. And it is astounding that we still ain't had no concerts. But I know what it is. You blacks hate accountability. Look at my upstairs neighbors, for example. We're cool now. We're in a great place now. We're in a beautiful neighborly place now. I remember about 3 weeks ago, we held the doors open for each other. I was like, this is very nice. Because I don't like problems with my neighbors. I don't like problems in general. I'm just good at them. Problem solver, expert problem solver. I don't like problems. I ain't never liked problems. But y'all play your music loud as hell for hours, late at night. The second time I said something to you about it, you were aggressive. So from now on, I just call the police. And every time I call the police, you're upset. Because black people are allergic to accountabilities. Instead of thinking just, I'm having a concert up here. That's why he called the police. I was aggressive. That's why he doesn't just come up. You know what I'm saying? The accountability is kryptonite to black people. People hate looking at themselves in the mirror. Hence why they blame everything else. Black people do everything but look at what they could have done. Black people in America are the most immature adults anybody will ever meet. And you know how you know you're immature? Because nobody can tell you anything about yourself. Because you're perfect with your black ass. All of you are perfect. Every single one of you, perfect. You're black. I know. That's the other problem with you blacks. You act like we're not allowed to talk about us. Do you hear yourself? Do you hear yourself? Do you see what you type? Of course I'm black, stupid. You're like, but you're black though. Huh, I'm better than you. All black people ain't the same. There's levels to this. I wouldn't dare look facts in the face and be emotional or look for an argument. I'll just be like, you ain't never lied. It's funny how black people want to be black people also want to be respected as individuals so bad. But as soon as you have an opinion that disagrees with the hive mind, it's, but you're black. You're supposed to think with the rest of us. So are we individuals or are we one stupid hive mind? You never make sense. Any of you blacks who ever argue with me about the state of blacks in America, you never make actual logical sense. You're just emotional. Not to mention, you blacks by far are the most racist toward black people who don't think with the hive mind. It's not even close. Do you know how often I be told that I'm tap dancing for the white man when I'm simply talking about the negativity that I see within the black community? For the record, if I was one of them bitch ass red pill men who was here just talking shit about women and how they're bimbos, the super chat would be flooded right now. I've been watching these red pillars lives. Y'all some bitches. Because y'all make it rain on red pillars when they're making you feel superior to women. Do you know how much money it is in making bitch ass men feel superior to women? I'd be like, damn, you just gave him $50? Just so you can say a comment? Stick it to her, Andrew. Ha ha ha. This bimbo. You men out here who watch these red pill content, you're real life pathetic. You know, I've never been on the whatever podcast page until I was making the video that I'll drop for y'all tomorrow. They be going live for like 4 to 6 hours. And y'all watch it. What is you see how I have ENT at the end of all of my things? Because first and foremost, I need you to be entertained around this motherfucker. I'm not here just trying to talk down to people and shit. If I'm not being entertaining, what the hell is the point? Just to yap? You know, I take my job very seriously. I'm supposed to entertain you people. Spewing hatred is not what we're supposed to do. Because I ain't no bitch. These red pill dudes is bitches. Straight bitches. Sitting around complaining about modern women. What kind of grown man complains about the state of modern women when they say the state of modern women is hoes? What kind of grown man complains about a bunch of hoes? Y'all don't even be hearing yourselves. Why are you complaining about women who be loose with the cooch? It's because you can't get now. All this water out here and you're dry. And just like a single mom who can't get a good man, you're like, I'm single by choice. Dry by choice. Sound good. Bunch of grown men complaining about the state of modern women while simultaneously saying Western women is flooded with hoe mentality. What? Don't make no sense. Don't make no sense. The only reason y'all so upset about the state of modern women is because you can't get no coochie in a generation of hoes, in a generation of loose women. Or actually, it gets much deeper. Since you can't get no coochie, as soon as you get some coochie, you thirst over it. As soon as you get some coochie, it manipulates you. That's why you men still listen to Shannon Sharp. Y'all blame the 20-year-old for hustling him instead of the man who got 30 plus years on her for not seeing the play unfold. You know why? She would have got you too, because you don't get no coochie. So coochie can manipulate you easily. I'm gonna tell y'all a story. I was talking to this woman. She was really cool. I love the way she acted. Like, she was so feminine. Like, she just be randomly just twerking for no reason, just touching herself and shit. She was really good at raising eggplant, if you understand what I'm saying, you know? But after the first time she let me smash, she bust a couple, she act like she want to play hard to get now. And she wants it to not be about sex all the time. She came through. I remember she came through, gave me half a BJ, and was like, I'll finish it later. Whatever that means. She spent the night. I gave her the benefit of the doubt because I'm not really a pressure dude. And the benefit of the doubt is if she come back over here the next time, she gonna make up for it because she's an empathetic woman. Nope, she didn't do that. Do you think she came over again? I literally told her to her face when she said, oh, I could just hang out with you all day. Because sometimes when you're a good dude, women don't want to give you whole energy. Baby, let me tell you something. If you like me, you better give me that whole energy. I literally told Shorty to her face when she was like, oh, I could just hang out with you all day. I said, I don't know, man. You be leaving me with a hard dick all day. I don't. Because, see, after we've already slept together, I don't stop being a gentleman, but I do talk to you like we've slept together. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to beat around this bush anymore. Unless I'm trying to beat that bush. Love a good dad joke. You know what I'm saying? And especially considering the fact that I'm a coochie eater. Once I get to sleeping with you, I like to make a woman bust a nut. That's my favorite thing. I want you to come around here often. The weekend, ooh yeah, ooh yeah, ooh yeah, often. You hear me? So you can't really play hard to get after I done had your coochie juice on my face. We won't do that around here. And instead of hearing me, she was just like, oh, well, you know, the last guy who I talked to, I just felt like every time I came over, it was just all about the sex and blah, blah, blah. And I just don't want to make that mistake again. Like, the sex is good, but I just don't want it to be all about that. And I'm like, girl, you literally gave me half a BJ last time you was here. The hell is half a BJ? She didn't come back. It was over with for her. Because I'll just go get me a new woman. You see, you red pill dudes, y'all would have let that coochie control you. Because you don't get now. I'm your biggest fan. Boy, shut up. You ain't getting no super chats. I swear. You men, y'all be wanting me to be satisfied and happy with your verbal tips. Shut up. I'm your biggest fan. Ain't no damn money on. Shut your goof ass up. Women are my biggest fans. You would think the bros would be my biggest fans. Absolutely not. The women who like to laugh are my biggest fans. They show me with a wallet. You men be broke and stingy. You know why? Because I'm not an actual woman hater. And that's what you men on the internet give money towards. The women haters. Y'all be like, ha ha, slam them. You do it, Myron. Talk to him, Andrew. You get him, Cooley. Ha ha ha. Tell her she's a bimbo. Ha 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 ha. Here's $20. That's what y'all do. Like, we love laughing at women because it's easy, but you men are the most, you American men are the most roastable things around because you're on such a high horse and you act like bitches. It's hilarious. These red pillars have tapped into the same need to feel special that the women do when they take advantage of you. But I know you don't hear me. You just want to feel superior to women. You know why I'm good with women? Because one day I looked myself in the mirror a long time ago and I said, my game sucks. You see, if you're the kind of man who doesn't have a fragile ego, you could look at yourself in the mirror and be like, I suck at this, but I don't want to suck at this. I'm going to get better at this. By the way, shout out to every bitch made, butt hurt man who's in the comment section. Because think about how bitch made and butt hurt you got to be in a man's comment section you don't like. Hold on, let's get all the clocks in here. And if you're on the West Coast, it's almost 9 o'clock. If you're on Mountain Time, Denver, Colorado, and shit, it's almost 10 o'clock. If you're in Chicago, it's almost 11 o'clock. If you are on the East Coast, it's almost midnight. You in my comment section with a moist butt as a grown man talking shit. Because at night is when the freaks come out. At night is when your personality really comes out on the internet. You see how that broke ass man just gave me $2? You men are pathetic. You're absolutely pathetic. You're beyond pathetic. You're beyond pathetic. It don't make no sense. You could have just kept that. He wanted me to see his comments so bad that he gave $2 because he wanted me to just see his comment. but he didn't actually want to support, because men don't support men for the sake of supporting a dude that they like. Men like to spend their money online hating, because 70% of men are bitches. So of course that translates to the internet. I watch what y'all spend your money on online. It's just like how we roast women. We say, how are the Kardashians so popular? Why do women spend their money and time on the Kardashians? That's exactly what you men do, supporting these red pill men. And you so bitch made, you can't see it, because you have this need to feel superior instead of learning how to be superior. Quarter zip talk. I'm not gonna read no $2 super chat. I'm not even gonna like it. It's disrespectful. That must be the minimum super chat that you can give with your broke ass. Get your broke ass out of here. Keep your broke ass in the broke seats. You know, ain't nothing wrong with being in the broke seats. We done all been broke before. Just stay your ass there. All right? Disrespecting me with $2. There's nothing wrong with being broke. Just act like it. You don't get to feel special doing broke shit. You stay your ass in the regular comment section. I would much rather this comment section have $0 than $8.97 full of $2 super chats. $2 is the most indirect F you. You see, all those laughing emojis you just put, that was more valuable than your $2. All those laughing emojis right there, 6 laughing emojis, that's way more valuable than that raggedy ass $2. I got on a quarter zip. What the fuck you think I'm gonna do with $2? I got on a quarter zip, bitch. What in the fuck you think I'm finna do with $2? Mamadas, güey. No puedo creer esas putas. Anyway, so yeah, apparently me and my quarter zip are anti-black because, I'm not promoting alcoholism or drug addiction or prostitution or trauma or or babies born out of wedlock. The quarter zip, I think the quarter zip will be my new look, simply because the quarter zip is just as anti-black as Now You a Single Mom. And I didn't realize Now You a Single Mom was anti-black when I first came out with the joint, simply because I was never a woman roaster online. I was a roaster, coworkers and shit. To this day, I will never care what women do with their lives. More importantly, I hope they stay hoeing around. I hope they keep making all of these babies. For several reasons. A, you guys gave me a nice job. I love this job. B, when I have kids, My kids will dominate your kids because they'll come from a loving two-parent household, and your kids will come from two people who never wanted them. And I also love being right. So the more you people keep acting like jackals and hyenas and baboons and lions and tigers and bears, anything but human beings, the more you just prove me right. I'm right about y'all. You're vermin. You know how many men You know how many men love my content in a negative way? Now, mind you, there are so many single moms that are like two by twos, four by threes. They love my content because they can just laugh at themselves. Hear me and hear me clearly. I appreciate you, bitch. I love anybody who can laugh at themselves. Anybody. When I was a boy, my stepdad called my skin tone piss yellow. It was funny then. It's funny now. Piss yellow is wildly accurate because P kind of changes tones, and I change with the seasons. So just the more you think about it, it's just good. That's so good. You're not even laughing because I've been laughing at it for I'm 37. I've been laughing at it for 25 years. 27 years actually. I was like 10, something like that. That's why I'm not laughing. I've been laughing at it for 20 something years. When he said it to me when I was a boy, I was like I don't even care if he was trying to be mean to me. The shit was funny. See, now I'm thinking about the 10-year-old version of myself the first time I heard it. So, so the first round of Now You a Single Mom, it wasn't me trying to bash single moms or none of that shit. Y'all remember, I had an ex who became a single mom after talking so much shit about how dumb single moms are. So me and all the single moms on the internet, me and all the single moms on the internet were laughing at her dumb ass. So there was no way I would have thought I was just being offensive because me and the girls were having a good laugh at her expense. The bros joined in too. It was just hearty laughter. Hell, the original caption in the original video was when you check Facebook and you see the universe did right by your ex. Somebody just told me to stop. Do you know what you know what? I know things so much I know things make so much sense when you hear them out loud. You just told me to stop. My good man, you have the ability to make me stop. There is a little X at the top left-hand corner of your screen. You can kindly exit the premises. You don't have to be here, and I don't know why you are. That's how I know your daddy sired a bitch and your mama raised one, Andrew. Because only a bitch comes to a man's job just to say, I don't like you. Only a bitch comes to a man's live he don't like just to talk shit to him. It's not even like you're watching one of my videos and commenting. You're watching me in a live and you don't like me. That's definitely the most bitch made shit you can ever do. As a matter of fact, I have a list of how to spot bitch made niggas. Ladies, women's intuition is not real. It's obvious because if women's intuition was real, there wouldn't be so many single moms out here. So I am going to read off my list for y'all on how to spot a bitch made man. I'm going to make this into a book for y'all and I'm going to elaborate further. But here is my list on how to spot a bitch made man. The first one is my man Andrew. You come to a person's live you don't like to watch them. You're a real bitch. The second one is conditional. You know, like some things are you're acting like a bitch versus you are a bitch. I've done bitch made things in my life that I'm not proud of, but I'm not a bitch. If you play your music so loud to the point where your neighbors can hear it and you don't care about how they feel, you're a bitch. Or you just doing some inconsiderate bitch made activity. You can learn the error of your ways and just be a better person. You see what I'm saying? That's not a permanent character trait right there. But if you do it all the time and you keep it up, eh. Now, you're probably asking yourself, Brandon, how do you know so much about bitch made men? I was raised by the most bitch made man of all time. I grew up calling him dad ever since I was 1 year old. I'm very grateful for these three fake teeth because I'm loyal to the people. I'm very grateful for these three fake teeth here because it made me sever ties with the people who I felt like hated me the most growing up. My family, the people in my house. When my stepdad woke me up out of my sleep, cocking a gun in my face, and I was being put out at gunpoint over an argument that I had with my mom earlier in the day about food stamps. You see how ghetto this is? Now, mind you, I never so much as raised my voice at the man who I call dad. So I got put out at gunpoint, and then he tried to pistol whip me when I'm trying to call a ride to figure out where I'm going to stay for the night because, you know, I've literally been put out at gunpoint. So he tried to pistol whip me, and I blocked it both times. So the third time, he faked like he was doing the same motion just to get my arm in the air, just to jab me in the mouth with the barrel of it. My mother came outside and told me that I should just go. My sister called me a bitch because I called the police. And after I stopped being emotional, I was like, I always felt like you people just hated me and wished I wasn't around. Like I was just the step kid all the time. Like I always felt that energy, but I didn't want to admit it to myself because it's a horrible reality to come to grips with, you know? But I couldn't ignore it anymore after that happened. So after that I began to look at people for who they were as opposed to dad, mom, sister. When I tell you the man that raised me had a bunch of kids on my mama, that's not what made him the most bitch made man of all time. What made him the most bitch made man of all time is when he talked about financially supporting the women who he made children with, child support in any way. He always said, and I quote, I'll never give none of them bitches no money. That was his catchphrase. And I'm sorry. I know I'm the now you a single mom guy, and I said, you let this bum hit it raw. But at the end of the day, it is an understood thing. You a bitch ass dude if you making children and you don't take care of them. That's an understood thing. I thought we all knew that. So considering the fact that he made a bunch of children and always said about the mothers of the children that he made, I'll never give none of them bitches no money. Please believe I was raised by the most bitch ass man of all time. So when I tell you I have a PhD in bitch ass men, because I didn't realize he was a bitch until I was grown. I was born in darkness, molded by it. I didn't see the light until I was already a man, and by then it was nothing more than blinding. You hear me? I don't know if you hear me. So, if you come to a man's live you don't like just to talk shit to him, or even a woman's live you don't like, you're a bitch. Um, if you disturb your neighbors with loud music, you're exhibiting bitch made traits, or you are a bitch. That's up to you. Because you can just be like, what was I thinking? You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to, that doesn't have to make you a bitch. You could have just been rude and you saw the error of your ways. Now, this one makes you a bitch for real. Ladies, you're probably laying in bed with one of these right now. Turn the volume down, get your headphones in. I'm going to give you a moment. Now, if you know for a fact your man's not a bitch, if you and your man lay in bed laughing at my content all the time, do your thing. But ladies, if you are unsure, I'm gonna need for you to get your headphones or go to the bathroom or something. I'm gonna give you a second. Brody faded. I am not. I don't know if y'all know, but after I brush my teeth, I wake up like this. And I smoke a lot of gas because of the trauma. I would be the most unfriendly person ever if I didn't smoke because people aren't nice to me. So why should I be nice? Um, if a man in his free time, now mind you, I talk shit for work, right? Right. If a man in his free time spends more time talking about things he doesn't like than things that make him laugh or things that make him happy, you know you a bitch. If you're the type of person who is racist and can't stand on it, you're a bitch. If you're the type of person who has to spell out the N word in individual things to try to really get it, if you're an actual racist, you're a bitch. Because you don't even have the mental fortitude to get to know people and dislike them for them. And honestly, the only reason any man is racist is because his Johnson is little. Like that's where the root of a lot of men's racism come from. Like their women be looking at other men and they got a little Johnson. Like I can guarantee you, if we did a study of all people, no matter what their race are, No matter what your race is, if you're a racist man, 99 times out of 100, I can guarantee you your Johnson is little. Oh, here's a $10 super chat. It just says 7. I appreciate you. That's respectable. I'll stop and read that. If a man goes around giving advice that nobody asked for, now mind you, if he's under the age of 27 and goes around giving advice that nobody asked for, he's a bitch. As men get older, they feel the need to help people. So he could just be annoying. And if he's over 30, he could just be annoying. You have to kind of see if anything else on the list applies. Because some men are just nice and they want to help people. That really kicks in after you turn 30. If you see somebody messing up, you want to be like, hey man, let me just, hey, I hate to bother you, but you know, it's incorrect. But the reality of the situation is nobody asked you. I'm going to tell you again, nobody asked you. Moving right along. If he can't admit that Chris Brown is that dude, he's just a bitch. You don't have to be a Chris Brown fan. You don't have to love him. But if you cannot admit that Breezy is that dude, you just a bitch. There's no way. You don't even have to like him. But you have to admit, he's that dude. What can't he do? He's so much that dude that he has a cocaine problem and nobody thinks it's a problem. They're like, it's fine. It's fine, Chris. Whatever, who cares? Like, he's that dude, bro. If he's a Fresh and Fit fan, a Myron Gaines fan in 2025, he's a bitch. He could literally listen to anybody else. Do you know how many people talk on the internet? You could listen to anybody else. You listen to Myron Gaines in the big 2025, going into the 2-6. After he's come out as a card-carrying racist, after he was begging to be in the supremacist chat room and they called him a sand N-word, if he still listens to any red pill creator who is a proven hypocrite because he likes the way he talks, because he validates his fragile ass male ego, he's a bitch. I cannot stress that enough. Oh wow, on live calling it your job with nappy hair and calling another man that dude is diabolical. Put this towards a haircut, my boy. So you see what I mean about bitch ass men on the internet? How they spend money in an attempt to be mean and spew hatred? You can't make this up. You spend money to be a bitch? Son, you watching me and you don't like me spending money to be a bitch. I know for a fact you exhibit several things on this list. Gee, Monetti, you can't make this up. Cannot make this up. If he's a man and thinks his opinion matters so much to random people to the point where he can tell people how to live, if he walks around telling people how he thinks they should live, he's a bitch. Because a real man is really only got enough energy and focus to tell his children how to live and how to act. I told you I don't read $2 super chats. I told you that. Broke ass. Stay in the regular broke seats. There's nothing wrong with being in the broke seats. The broke seats are cool. Look, these 4 laughing emojis, those 4 laughing emojis were way more valuable to me than that broke ass $2 super chat. For the record. Next time you think about sending a broke ass $2 super chat, put 16 laughing emojis. That means a lot more. I swear. Um, 70% of men are bitches. And I think there's a higher percentage of men that flock to my content that are bitches because lots of men still think I'm red pill ish. And since you like red pill content and you think I'm red pill ish, if you're in that Venn diagram, use a bitch. So you waiting to give me $50 for me to bash a woman for some shit, for me to call her a bimbo or I don't know, man. You people are ridiculous the way you still support these red pill hypocrites. Thank you for the laughing emojis. You see what I'm saying? Appreciate that. you know? Yeah, so if you tell other people how to live their life, what you think they should do, if you tell other men how you think they should act, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you judge other people's personalities that you don't even know, you're a bitch. How dare you tell somebody how you think they should live? I don't care who you sleep with. I don't care who you marry. I don't care how you raise your kids. I care that you come here and you're entertained. That's what I care about. You feel me? And maybe one day, if I entertain you enough, whenever I pass away, you'll be sad. If if I entertain you so much over the years that you're actually real life sad whenever I pass away, then I've done my job. That's how you know an entertainer is really good at what they do. They hate on you because they hate themselves. God bless you, beloved. Keep shining. Appreciate you. I don't know how to pronounce that. Is that Deshine? Deshane? You know what I'm saying? I don't know how to pronounce that. I don't know. I don't know how you do that, but I appreciate you. Muchas gracias. Deshine, Deshane. I don't know if that's a man or a woman. I don't know who you are. You call me beloved. I would hope it's Desiree. Okay, I was hoping you were a girl because you called me beloved. But if you were a dude calling me beloved, I would still be grateful because $20 is $20. You know what Drake say in that one song. Now you're talking my language. Now you're talking my language. LOL. He claiming he an entertainer. Ain't you here, bitch? Let me tell you something. You might be a bitch, and that's why you're here to be a bitch because what were you, number one on the list? Coming to somebody's live, you don't like to talk shit to them. But most of the people who come here, it's because they be cracking up laughing, bitch. So you could eat a dick. Hold on, I missed the super chat. Hold on. Sir, you decided to call me out, and that's okay. Next time you focus on a comment, make sure you are real. I follow you hard. You make me 100. You effed up. I didn't F up, bro. I don't care. Thank you for the $10 super chat. But Andrew, I don't know if you know, I don't give a shit. That's why y'all love me. I don't give a shit what you think. That's why y'all love me. Come on now. Like Andrew, I'm sorry that you felt the need to feel so special coming here. And you got a special roasting. Lots of people would feel honored to be put in the air fryer by the now you a single mom guy. Andrew, I don't know what your problem is this evening. I don't know why your booty is so moist, but you need to take care of that before you come back to my next live, Andrew. All that moist booty sensitivity ain't really welcome here. You gonna get roasted every time. And I hope you come back. That sounded really diddy-fied because I was talking about your moist butt and I want you to come back. But, hey, I said what I said. No diddy. Oh, this goes for a lot of Chicagoans. If you still listen to R. Kelly, you're a bitch and I'll never respect you because I'm a man who's a grown man who is disgusted by the notion that anybody preys on young girls. It disgusts me to my core. Andrew, I appreciate you, my dude. Appreciate you, homie. You see, Andrew ain't no bitch. You remember how I said the loud music is situational? You don't have to be a bitch. You could just be doing a bitch ass thing. Anybody can make a mistake. You see what I'm saying? Andrew ain't no bitch. He just, caught himself in an air fryer. That's all it was. But yeah, I'm the type of man. I'm putting you in timeout. Because I don't know what you're talking about. Put you in 5-minute timeout. I'm the type of man who really feels like we need to protect children. Little girls are little girls. It's disgusting the way you grown men prey on little girls. And you know how I know you grown men are comfortable preying on little girls? Because you're comfortable listening to R. Kelly, knowing what he did and who he was. There's no way. And our whole parents' generation, this man in this county, probably about 20 minutes away downtown in the courthouse, had an ID and documents forged and tried to marry a 15-year-old Aaliyah and passed her off as 18. Everybody knew about it. There were no charges filed. And he had a wonderful career afterwards. The man was on camera urinating on a teenager. And none of you bitch-ass Chicagoans care because he could sing good. You could listen to anybody else. But you got to listen to Robert. That's because your grown ass, if you saw a 16-year-old with a bunch of body and she would let you hit, nobody would find out about it, you would do it. Do you know that in Chicago, it was common knowledge that R. Kelly would ride around and picking up girls outside of high schools? And all these bullets out here, it wasn't never a couple of hot ones for the man preying on little girls? All these bullets in Chicago. Y'all ain't never had no hot ones for the man out here preying on little girls. Riding around in his truck to high schools. This is common knowledge. Everybody knew about this. But he's saying, move your body like a snake, ma. I will never care what you Chicagoans think about anything. Every one of you should be ashamed of yourselves. I wish. Chicago is a disgusting place. And they're proud of it. They're incredibly proud of it. Anybody who listens to R. Kelly, they say it with pride. They're not even ashamed. I'm gonna listen to R. Kelly. I don't care. Fucking disgusting animals. I'm telling you. I'm so glad I moved back to Chicago and got to know the place that I was so proud to be from my whole childhood. I am so glad I moved back here and truly got to know this city. You ain't finna see no brothers rocking quarter zips in the city nowhere. You know, this is about $30. They would much rather pay $70 for a Nike Tech hoodie as a 35-year-old man because the name brand is important to the 35-year-old man out here in Chicago because he's 35. Somebody said on BD. That's trill as fuck. Hey, just because I'm laughing does not mean I'm BD or GD or I don't understand anybody's gang lingo out here. The only thing that I do know is that if somebody put a K at the end of something, that means they're the ops and they unalive them. I don't want to say the KILL word on YouTube, but so if somebody claims to be a K, anything K at the end, that's not good. They're anti whatever they just said. That's all I know. I ain't never been nobody that cared about none of that. These gang politics. Hey, edit. I also would like to remind. Oh! I got to add this to the list. Thank you very much. A man in here just said that I'm a fruit cup. Any man who says he's straight, who wonders about another man's sexuality, real bitch. Probably the biggest example by far of being a bitch that we have on this list. I'll give you a perfect example. I'm a big fan of Prince. Prince wore heels. He had a lot of questionable behavior. I've never actually thought about what goes on with Prince and once they're behind closed doors. God rest his soul. And I love Prince, but that's a dude. Never once thought about it. Unless it's a topic and somebody asks, what do you think about? Well, he wore heels and his mannerisms and stuff. I wouldn't be surprised if he liked men. But if somebody said, nope, Prince only liked women, he just acted like that, I'm not going to argue with them. I don't care. He's a dude. And I love Prince. So for you to sit here and speculate about a man's sexuality as a man, real life bitch, walking bitch. And I don't know where you at. Los Angeles time, Denver time, Chicago time, New York time. Either way, it's after hours and it's late night. It's late night and you see a man in a quarter zip with a polo on underneath it, and you wondering about his sexuality. Man, you a real bitch. That's a good one. Thank you. Thank you for that. I almost left that out of the book. Thank you for that. Tame your brows. I pray to God you're a woman. And also know, if a man gets underneath his eyebrows done, he's a bitch. Now getting a lineup on top after you get your lineup, they cut up here is fine. But any man who lets somebody play underneath his eyebrows, he's a bitch for real. I don't care what culture you is, none of that. Thank you. If you let a man play under your eye, if you let somebody play under your eyebrows, Thank you for that. Thank you. Stop letting women mold you. You see, you can't just say that because that would imply that women don't have good ideas, women can't improve you. You see, you got to stop with that red pill line of thinking. How about you seek out the kind of woman whose opinion you really value? Like, as dudes, we get stuck in our ways. Women like to seek out new and exciting and fun things. Most of us dudes would have never tried anything new if it wasn't for women that we date, or our sisters, or our moms. So you can't just say that. You know what I'm saying? You just have to have discernment. It's not about gender when it comes to being better. If I hear a stranger say some shit and it changes my life, I don't think about it as I'm letting a stranger mold me. I listened to what they said and I liked it. Y'all gotta stop being so sexist. I know we're in an era of the gender war, and even if you're not sexist, you're a willing participant in the gender war. And people like Drew Afua, red pillars, and the people who watch them, and the people who watch Drew Afualo are on the same low frequency. Same low frequency. You got to start respecting individuality first. That's when you can raise your expectations for the people you want to be around you. Shout outs to all of the men who are in the closet with moist bottoms in here talking about my sexuality for some reason. It never astounds me. No. It always astounds me how many boys be coming to a man's live at almost 12 o'clock with a moist butt and a hard Johnson. What makes you see a man in a polo and a quarter zip and talk about bedroom activity? That comes from a deep internal place. You do realize that. That comes from a deep internal queer place. Because queer is questioning. Any one of you as a man coming in here talking about sexuality, you're incredibly queer. You probably the type that's like really, really close to your Libiquita man coworker to prove how progressive you are. But like at 2 o'clock in the morning, and y'all hanging out after a few beers. I don't know why you hanging out with him at 2 o'clock in the morning, because you're progressive. You know, after a few beers, it's 2 o'clock in the morning. You let him top you off. That's how you are. Because you're always thinking about stuff like that. You just like a mouth is a mouth. It's fine. I know that's how you are. Because there is no way you come to my comment section with Libiquita lingo. Says a lot about you. And then it's not even like you just saying stuff. You're typing it. You're using your thumbs with your phone to type it. What's going on out here? All right. Ain't nothing going on. So yeah, that's the full list. And I'm glad I was able to add a couple of things. Wonder as if you're a straight man and you're wondering about a man's sexuality in any sort of way, and if if you're a man and you let somebody play underneath your eyebrows, I'll write books. I'll write a book detailing these, giving you specific examples. This is gonna be a book for women, because obviously if you're a bitch ass man, you're not gonna want to read about yourself, and and this book is really gonna be to help women avoid making having your baby. Because think about it, you're a bitch. Why should anybody have your baby? The bloodline should end with you. And you know these men are bitches? They love it when I roast women. We have a ball when I roast women. But as soon as I make a bitch ass man question the way he thinks or acts, all of a sudden I'm not funny anymore because he's a bitch. It's so funny that women, I had a single mom of 8 call my call-in show that I be doing sometimes to tell me how much she loves my single mom content. Meanwhile, if you're a man and you exhibit any of the traits on this list, you feel the need to lash out. Single mom of 8 got more balls than you. Because she ain't no bitch. She's a nice lady. You're a bitch. 8 is correct. I'll never forget that. She was a Latina girl. She's from Texas. Cause I got strong following in Texas. And she was just like, I don't care. I love your stuff. I love everything you do. I was like, I remember saying, I don't care what anybody ever says about me ever again. Bro drinking malt liquor. I'm sure Liz. They're not paying me, but it's a margarita and it's delicious. So I'm not gonna endorse an alcohol brand that's not paying me. If you want to rewind it and pause, you can see what I was drinking, I guess. Your content is helping people, bro. Thank you. Thank you. Like I say, I'm the realest one on the internet. The more I talk, the more I help people. I suggest you listen. And I'm not a hypocrite. All these other people, this dude, Andrew, his wife got 3 baby daddies, and she was just always the victim because they were all abusive allegedly. So she got a bad habit of picking ain't shit men. What make me think Andrew was some shit? If she got a habit of picking ain't shit men, what make me think Andrew was some shit? And y'all been knowing this. And you're just like, yeah, well, I like the way he slams bimbos and he makes me feel good about myself. You know the only thing more pathetic than the red pillars? The red pill audience. Because I'm never truly mad at the content creators. I'm mad at the audience. Hi from India. I'm so sorry. I am so sorry. How do I go about booking you for the podcast? You know how I know you're not serious, and I don't mean to be disrespectful. If you were serious, you would go on any of the bios on any of my social medias and you would reach out. I'm quite bookable. And also, let me tell you something, man. The first podcast I was ever on, it was also their first podcast. And no disrespect to them. Hold on, I gotta get a charger. No disrespect to them. Their first podcast meant they were relatively unknown. Their first podcast ever did 70,000 views. I'm the GOAT, or at least one of them. And it's a bunch of goats out here on the internet, but I'm the realest one. If you starting a podcast, I suggest you book your boy. You see, this is another thing. What about what ifs? You know how I know you're a dude? You don't like podcasts, so you think they're played out. That's another thing about bitch ass men. You think your opinions and what you like and dislike are the climate of the times. You see, it's not enough for you to just say, I don't like podcasts. It has to be podcasts are played out. That couldn't be anything further from the truth. But go off, Queen. How you gonna say podcasts are dead, but you watching me live? This ain't nothing but a live podcast. Shut your stupid ass up. You see how stupid these men are? They're beyond stupid. They want to laugh at women all day with their dumb ass and complain about why American women are out of control. But you're stupid. Dumb as a box of rocks with an ego. That'd be the problem. You know, back in my day, if you didn't think you were, y'all grew up in an era of participation trophies and everybody wants to feel special. All you idiots think you smart. But you say the dumbest things. That's why you should just keep coming to my page and I'll tell you what to say and think. Because man, y'all be dumb. Most people are stupid. You don't have to stay stupid. You know, I watch people when like, I don't know about you, but I take advice from smart people. And one of the smartest things Stephen A. Smith ever said, I don't care if you like him, one of the smartest things Stephen A. Smith ever said. First of all, before I say that, que whatever your name, que escandalo, que escandalo, que escandalo. If you think I'm sassy, it says way more about you than me. That you're watching a sassy man at midnight. What are you doing watching a sassy man at midnight? ¿Qué está haciendo, güey? Dito su madre está mirando. Ay, ay, dito su madre. Su niño es un joto. Su madre tiene un niño joto porque está mirando un hombre sassy a las 12 de la noche. No mames, Dito. This is how you're coming out the closet, son? Hopefully your mama don't know what you be doing on the internet. That's a bold way to come out the closet. I'm glad I made you feel safe. Pero, mijo, that's not the way. You gotta tell your sister or your brother or the rest of your family. You shouldn't have come out to us. This isn't the place for that. Dito. But I always say, all the bitches in the chat, you're just entertaining the people who are here to be entertained. More importantly, you could be being a bitch anywhere right now. You doing it here. I very much appreciate you. God bless. I forget what my train of thought was before that. If anybody can remind me, that would be great in the comment section. Oh well. Stephen A. Smith, thank you. One of the smartest things Stephen A. Smith said was, I'm not brilliant, but I am because I listen to those who are. So when I need to get an opinion about something that I'm a little on the fence about, I listen to people who I think are really smart. There are lots of people who watch my content who think I'm really smart. And I don't take it lightly that there are a few people whose opinions are formed based on how I articulate things. Everybody is a follower in a sense, depending on what you're talking about. You're only one mind, one brain. That's why we all listen to other people talk, for different perspectives and opinions. And if there are some people who, when you listen to them talk, you be like, damn, I never thought about it like that, but it just makes too much sense. You keep listening to them. Very simple. Lots of people make things way more complicated than they are, and they also let people bully them out of doing what they want to do. People let people bully them out of enriching their lives. I'm going to tell you right now, if you watch my content, if you just listen to me yap about shit, your life will be enriched. I'm a good person. I'm firm in what I believe in. I'm knowledgeable about what I talk about. More importantly, though, I'm hilarious, bitch. You know what I'm saying? You watch me, you're going to laugh and shit. You're going to have good vibes. Laughter is good for the soul and for the spirit. If you don't think I take it very, very seriously, that my job is to crack y'all up, you crazy as a son bitch. Do you hear me? I take pride in the fact that you people think I'm funny. I take pride in the fact that my mental illness brings you joy. Because I don't know what I have. I don't know if there is a doctor that can diagnose what goes on up in here. Whatever. They done gave me a platform. They done messed up. You have illness. Oh my God. I'm sorry, that joke wasn't as obvious as you let him hit it raw. You didn't have second thoughts. Now you a single mom. What I'm saying is, I'm a clown. I got into an argument with one of my cousins. He's a bitch. And I say that because he's a deadbeat dad. So you're a bitch. Uh, he tried to insult me by saying, okay, funny man. I said, professional funny man. We're all bitches, right? Didn't I say 70% of men are bitches? Keep up, son. Keep up, son. 70% is health is a lot of y'all. Keep up. You literally said it. We're all. Hey, Ab, I don't know if you missed number like 4 on the list, but giving people advice that they didn't ask for is prime bitch made male activity. You're gonna come to a smoker's live while he's smoking to tell him to stop smoking. You're a real bitch. And you can stop being bitch made right now. I'm telling you, as a man who was raised by the most bitch made man of all time, and I grew up thinking he was cool until I was like 20, I had a lot of unlearning and relearning to do. So, that being said, bros, when I write this book for women on how to detect a bitch ass man, you can read it too. And if you feel some type of way, just change. I did it too. Every time I would catch myself doing some bitch ass shit, I would be like, or I would reflect. Cause see, luckily I'm blessed with this OCD like superpower to where I think heavily about every single altercation I've ever had ever. I, I, uh, or we call that classic overthinkers, you know? So so there were lots of times in my past where certain situations, certain interactions, I would be like, that was some bitch ass shit. Why sorry for India? Asking respectful, brother. You trying to get me in trouble. You know the answer to that question. I'm not finna elaborate on that. Not even in the slightest bit. When I do, it'll be a full 20-minute video. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna put that on the list of a long form content. What kind of a question is that? Why do I feel sorry for people who live in India? That's an excellent long video to make. Man, what? Why? You kidding me? Left-handed. No, I'm actually right-handed. It's the flip. Excuse me. Yeah. Yeah. So y'all, that's the end of the list. Um, you know what's really funny? That's not important right now. I didn't miss anything, did I? Nope, nope, nope. All right, let me leave y'all with these final thoughts. You know, if you were a woodchuck and you were chucking wood, and somebody came along and they were like, "Hey, look, why you keep chucking all this wood? There's